And welcome to this edition of Low Budget Local. I am here with my friend Todd talking a little bit about the game Pool. Now, Todd, in my previous experience, Pool is one of those games that typically you find at bars, and in my case, it's always you play it and a couple beers in, you try to be good. When, as we've been hanging out, I've come to realize that it is a very, very technical game. Probably something that you shouldn't be doing under the influence.
Yeah, pool is fun, there's no doubt, but it's more fun when you can actually make balls. If you're not making balls, that's okay too if you're drinking. But and I like scotch myself, but I still like to make balls. And when I'm making balls, the game progresses and other people make balls, and that's kind of fun. You don't make them all the time, but certainly if you don't have the technical abilities, then it can become a drag and a bore and on to sitting at the bar just straight drinking.
So, since you've been playing pool for quite some time, and actually, I will say, when I first came in to do the interview for this show, I walked in to do an interview, then you came complete with a pool tie, dressed like you're ready to run a table.
Well, I wanted to demonstrate pool is a really aristocratic, classical game of etiquette and courtesy. It does have a past when it came to the United States of a bit of vice being involved. In fact, the game was called billiards originally. Pocket billiards is the one we played here with pockets. And they started to install these pocket billiard tables in places called pool rooms where people would pool their money together in gambling. And so that was the moment when billiards got involved with the vice of gambling and started to get an edge in the American culture. But originally it was they called the Game of Kings. So I want to demonstrate pool and the good side of pool because it doesn't have to be about the nefarious side that has become iconic in American movies.
So, first off, what would you say is the most rudimentary thing that pool players should know? What is the backbone of it all? Because I know you talked a bit about the importance of center.
Yes. So the cue and the equipment, the cue, which is the stick I have in my hand here, and the balls and the table, they all have certain physics properties, and every table is a little different, but every table is the same. So there's a calibration step that takes on. The main, most important calibration is being centered yourself, so you can get out of the way of the cue and allow its physics to do its thing rather than my body. If I'm not in a good position, my movement may be a little cramped, and then that may translate into the cue, which doesn't allow me to stroke straight. I don't stroke straight, I don't hit the ball straight, the ball doesn't go straight, it doesn't do what I want, and that deviation shows up throughout all the shots. So, to quickly improve your game, you need to work on your stance and work on the pendulum swing of your arm to get that cue to flow straight without your interference. When you can do that, make a good, straight, clean shot, your game will improve significantly quickly.
So you mentioned improving your game. Out of curiosity, after finding the center and getting that pendulum motion you mentioned all lined up, how many different shots can you do? Because it seems like if the game has been around practically forever, so give me a couple shots.
Well, some of the shots simply is the straight in shot. And being able to perform that consistently with a good stance and a good pendulum swing. From there, once you have that, then you could try some amazing shots, simple shots. What's going one is called the side to the corner follow shot, where you use the cue ball to strike a ball into the side, and then the cue ball follows down the rail and strikes the other ball into the pocket, which is kind of cool for your friends. There are extreme trick shots called the four ball classic shot. Four ball classic shot is an amazing shot where you make all four balls in a single stroke. Uh, um, there are rail shots where you go the natural bank from the corner to the side. And then you can add a little what's called English. That's what the colonists call it. When the English came over during the Revolutionary War, they put spin on the ball And the colonists saw that, and they saw the extra things the ball could do, and so they called it English. And so you can do that same side corner shot with English, an obtuse one and an acute one. So there's also a long rail shot where you can do an acute corner to corner long rail acute shot. A beautiful shot, which I love to demonstrate, is the jump ball shot, where my cue ball and my object ball are blocked by other balls. And to get to that other ball, I have to drive the cue ball into the slate. Some people shoot under the ball and scoop under the cue ball and lift it in the air. That's actually a foul. That's illegal. And in any league or competition, you'll be called a foul on that. So you have to drive the cue ball from above into the slate, and the rebound effect back into the phenolic resin cue ball will propel the ball into the air over the other balls with great aim and skill into another ball, the goal to make it. It's a beautiful shot. I hope you get to see that.
That just seems like pool witchcraft, in my opinion. I'm afraid of someone like me coming into that, seeing that shot take place, would be more, whoa, I didn't know that was possible. What trickery have you used there? Is your pool cue bewitched in some way, shape, or form to make a ball levitate?
Well, I think, again, going back to the equipment, you want to have the main thing about striking the cue ball. The most important part of the cue itself is the tip, because that's what strikes the cue ball. Can we see this? Sorry.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
so you're mentioning the tip.
yes,
Right here.
right. That's the tip, and they're made from different materials now. Some have a nickel curvature, some have a dime curvature, and that depends. Below that is the ferrule. That's the next most important thing, and then there's the shaft. And below the shaft is the butt. This is a beautiful butt that was made for me by Bob Mucci and custom made for me. But mostly it's about beauty. And it doesn't have much effect on the effect of the ball. What does is more the straightness of the shaft, the quality of the ferrule, and the final curvature and consistency of the leather tip. This allows good contact between the very smooth surface of the ball to give as much directional physics energy into the ball as possible. So having good equipment is important. Although if you have a good stroke with lots of practice, you can make even a poor cue work well, just like anything. It was famously stated by William Mosconi that I could beat you with a broomstick.
It seems like, as well as we've been playing, I've noticed that chalk is used a lot. You always are dusting the tip of your cue to make sure that it has, I guess, why would you use chalk to make sure everything is all set up?
The coefficient of friction on a ball, these phenolic resin balls, are perfectly round within a very small tolerance and polished. So it's easy to do what's called miscue. If you don't hit the ball perfectly centered and you want to put English on it, you're not getting the curvature of the tip and the curvature of the ball and as much contact. And the less contact you have on the curvature to curvature, the more likely you are to miscue. So by placing chalk on the tip every shot, that will allow you to increase the friction, the grab on the ball, and reduce the miscues. That's an important part of quickly improving your game.
You see, that's something I never really thought of in the past. It was more people in the pool hall or in the bar going, where's the chalk? Where's the chalk? What do you mean you don't have any chalk? Oh, this is terrible chalk. But thank you for explaining that. With the physics of it all, the game has infinitely deepened. Thank you, Todd, for hanging out with me today. And if you would like lessons with Todd, I know this guy loves to play pool, so send an email to the address listed below in the description, and I'll see what I can set up for you. So until next time, hit like and subscribe, and come back for more low budget and local.